All right. So I wasn't pleased with the first way that I explained grammar and grammatical person in the first edition of this that was attached to the previous lecture. And so I've redone it, and I want to go over this with you. In order to start doing the analysis, we need to have a sense of grammatical person. This is how we're going to break down our readings of Blake's poem and Wheatley's poem. All right, so first of all, we need a definition of grammar. So we can define grammar by saying that it is the rules and the study of the rules that govern the use of phrases and clauses in a language. And I'm sure that you've drawn on this meaning of grammar in different scenarios where you might say to a friend, maybe your friend says, "Oh, I really run good," and you say, "Ah, friend, it's actually not run good; it's run well." And then you say that, right, that an adverb can only modify a verb. Good is an adjective, well is an adverb. And so there you would be drawing on this idea of grammatical rules in that conversation. And so what we want to think about in particular are the rules that govern the representation of person, right? So I'm drawing a distinction here between actual people and the grammar of people, how we mark people within language, okay? And so we can define grammatical person as the rules as being characterized by rules that refer to a person or more generally participants in an event. All right. So grammatical person refers to the rules that govern the way that we refer to a person or more generally participants in an event. And grammatical person can be broken down into, just to start, three categories: first, second, and third person. So if you've studied a foreign language, you've probably come across these distinctions. Okay, and I have a little, I guess, demonstration of this or graphs of this. It's a little awkward. I'm not the best with technology, so I'm drawing on old school paper here. But what I want you to see is how these distinctions between different grammatical persons can be graphed. All right, so sort of to help you have a sense of these distinctions visually. All right. Okay. So first, what I want you to see here is that the graph is usually set up as follows on the top here, with first at the top, second in the middle, and then third at the bottom. And then the specific way this is translated into English is first person refers to I or we. Second person refers to you, and you is also on the other side. You could say y'all. We'll get to that distinction here in a second. And then the third person refers to she, he, it, and then they. Okay. And the reason that there's a line down the middle is so that you can distinguish between singular and plural grammatical person, right? So first person singular is I, first person plural is we. So you and I, go to the store. We go to the store. Second person in English doesn't have a good way of distinguishing between singular and plural unless we say, I'm talking to just one of you and I say, you need to do this assignment. And then, but if I want to talk to all of you, I would have to just say you, or I could say y'all, right? So you all need to do this assignment. All right, so, and then in the last case, you can see the distinction there. Third person singular, right? Some examples are she, he, and it, and then the plural would be they. All right. So, having said that, I want to explain some of trickier ones from the poems. Okay. So let's see here. So first of all, you need to know that sometimes the grammatical person is implicit. And the grammatical person is implicit in commands. So if I say to you, or somebody says to you, go to the store, right? There's in that sentence no mark of grammatical person, but it's implied. And so the grammatical person that is implied there, let's say it's between you and me, and just a singular you, right? The implicit grammatical person there is you. You go to the store, right? But we don't say that. We just say go to the store. Another example would be if, let's say, one of your parents said to you, mow the lawn, right? So the implicit grammatical person, once again, is you. You mow the lawn, all right? And this will appear in both poems, Wheatley's poem and Blake's poem, right? So you want to be aware of that. If there's a command, then it's registering this implicit second person um, form of grammatical person. Okay. A couple other things I need to explain. So first, in Wheatley's poem, it begins with the word "twas," right? And so what you need to know is that's a contraction of "it was." Most of you probably know that, but I just want to make sure, right? So "it was" would be "it was" is in the third person, it, right? Neither you nor I nor we, and so on and so forth. Okay. Also, you need to know that nouns that refer to ideas, places, things, and events are often in the third person. If not, I can't say always, so we'll just have to go with often in the third person. So if you look at Wheatley's poem, you'll find in, I think it's the sixth line or seventh line, the sentence, their color is a diabolic dye, right? Color in this case is a noun, and it is in the third person, okay? So let me just give you a quick counter example, just so that you recognize that this is not a universal rule. You could imagine a child saying, my stuffed rabbit and I are going to the park, right? So in this case, a thing it will make up an implicit first person plural noun. So, right, the stuffed rabbit and I, we, are going to the park. Okay. Okay, so in addition to thinking about grammatical person so far simply in terms of subjects of the sentence, you also need to be aware of how grammatical person is being marked with personal pronouns. Okay, so personal pronouns are nouns that represent particular forms of person or people. So you might think of examples such as me, them, yours, theirs, and so on. So as you're reading these poems and looking for grammatical person, I want you to not only look for I, we, you, he, she, they, but also for these other markers of person with personal pronouns: me, your, yours, their, themselves, and so on and so forth. Okay.